So we get to episode 5. So now in episode 5, we noticed that Jordan and Demetrius have been seeing each other for a while now, and it's getting serious. So what ends up happening is that she's starting to feel like she's moving in the right direction. She's finally getting over Harper, and her relationship with Harper is different from what it was in Best Man Holiday. Is different from what it was in Best Man Holiday. You know, they still have those feelings. They're lingering for each other, but it's not as prominent as it was in Best Man 1 and Best Man Holiday. Like, it's kind of like toned down now. So she's like, I don't even think about her anymore. So we get to a point where Jordan has like this high powered job where it kind of puts a lot of stress on her, and like in the middle of episode 5, I believe, she goes blind. Like she goes temporarily blind, because I believe there's actually a study on it where too much stress can actually cause you to go blind. So she does go blind for like a little bit. She can't see anyone, and she calls Shelby, and she tells her that I need you to research Demetrius, because she feels like he's hiding something, even though she feels like he's giving her his all, but there's just something he's not giving her, and for that she needs to check up on him. So what ends up happening is that she goes ahead and researches him, and she finds out that not only is the company that he's working for, I believe it's called Infinity something, that he is promoting and behind and investing in, is actually a shell company that supports private prisons. Yeah, private prisons. And because it is one of those things that Jordan is not okay with, she breaks up with Demetrius. She tells him how she thinks and what she thinks about what he's doing. And of course, he is not okay with that. And he lashes out on her, and he lets her know that you lost me and you will never get a man like me again, or whatever. But anyway, now let's get back to the godson and LJ. Now, only Jordan knows about him being non-binary. Non-binary. So there's a moment when LJ said he wants to go over to Kennedy's house. And Kennedy's house with Q and everything. So there's like some commotion going on in the background. And I believe it's like a den area where Kennedy's just hanging out with LJ, and they're having this moment, and they are filming a TikTok. They're making a TikTok. And LJ is in full, like, no, actually he's not in full face. Like he has on like eyeshadow, a little bit of like powder makeup, and he has like his eyelashes on, and he had like a wig on, and now he doing his little walk in situations, voguing and everything. And Q decides to walk in on them. He decides to walk in on them, and he sees a little too much. He's like, what's going on? What? Oh, whatever y'all doing here, I'm gonna leave, okay? So he leaves. Now LJ, he just has a wig on, has his clothes on and everything. And it's just, and I believe at some point they kind of like, because that he's non-binary. He tells him that he's non-binary. And so Quentin decides to call the godmom, Jordan, and ask her what is non-bindering. Now that's the funniest thing in the world. Like, that's the funniest word. He said, what is non-bindering? She's like, I think you mean non-binary. Like, he doesn't conform to the gender norms. And this is where she starts to explain to him, what is non-binary, So, they have this whole conversation, brings everybody in, Merch, Shelby, gets on the phone and everything. And it's like one interesting debacle. And, Shelby's like, I realize where all my weeks have been going. That's a beautiful thing, though. We got to tell Lance. It's like, we ain't telling Lance nothing. We gonna let Lance figure it out. So we get to episode 6. We get to episode 6. This is where we actually go into the fact that Harper's movie is out, and it's the premiere. I believe it's the premiere night. This is going to be the premiere night. Harper's movie's out. We see the preview, and this is like basically the movie premiere of the Unfinished Business movie. Robin has been having like this emotional cheating situation with like the produce guy. So she is distracted by the farmer's market dude. I forget his name. I think his name was I believe it was Ja or Jaha or something like that. It was some weird name. But it did start with a J. Remember how I mentioned that Candace decided to go into holistic healing? She's taking like a doctorate, getting a doctorate. So she has this professor that isn't really hearing her on what holistic healing is, if it helps you at any point in your life, if it actually helps or hinders you when it comes down to the healing process. And the professor isn't hearing her, and so she decides to get like a mentor, and she actually changes her professor in the middle of the school year. But anyway, we get to that point where she decides to make her mentor her new professor, and her mentor is this guy named Dr. Temple. And he's like, I already kind of see it was gonna go this way because he was just being really, really special throughout the movie. But I'm gonna go into that a little bit more when I get into another episode, because that kind of happens later on in the series. But anyway, so we get to the point where she got a new mentor, and this mentor is kind of helping her develop her research paper that you have to do to get her doctorate. So what ends up happening is that he likes her work. He believes that she needs just a little bit of help to get her point across, and that's basically what we go through with Candace and her mentor for right now. Lance, like, okay. Also, the episode where Lance finds out about LJ. Now, as I mentioned, it was premiere night. Anyway, so we get to the point where Lance was at the house, and they were having like a New Year's Eve party, I believe. And he finds out that LJ is non-binary by basically, because LJ before this had posted a TikTok for some reason. I don't know why he did this. Posted a TikTok, and before he talks to his dad about the TikTok he about to post, or about him in general, like, I feel like that was approached so wrong. I feel like he should have talked to his dad and let him know, like, you know, a little heads up, you know, I am non-binary or whatever. You know, I like this or like that. My name is blah blah. You know, whatever foolishness he would come up with. You know, but I feel like he should have talked to him first before he was blindsided. You know, but anyway, he finds out about it because Shelby decides to put whatever's on her phone on the TV, and I'm like, really? Don't do this. I already knew it was about to happen. I knew it was about to walk in and see all that. So he saw it, and he realized it was LJ on the screen, and he searches his room. He finds nothing out of the ordinary, and then he looks behind a wall and he sees all the stuff that his son wears when he's not around, and he is very surprised that this has been going on for so long. And he approaches it the wrong way. It's just, I feel like this part could have been avoided if LJ had just told him from the beginning, given him a heads up on what was going on. So he lets LJ know, like, you don't have like any type of control of what you wear anymore. You have to give me I have to give you approval on what you're gonna wear. And you know, LJ is like, no, this is not gonna happen. I'm leaving or whatever. He leaves, and I thought this was gonna go to a different thing, because we touch on the fact of suicide, and I was like, that is a very, very hard topic for me. Maybe I'll do a video on why that's a hard topic for me when I feel more comfortable. And that's a very hard topic for me. So I was like looking at it and I was like, oh my god, I hope it doesn't go that way because I don't want to cry today. So we get to that point where he kind of runs away, you know, and people are looking for him in episode 7. They're looking for him. And in this moment as well, like, we were going to flash back to Q and Shelby. Now Q, he was drinking a lot at the party. He was having a good time, and he has a minor heart attack. And he's in the hospital. And this is when the whole group finds out that LJ is missing. So they go ahead and he's searching for LJ, and Q, you know, he checks out of the hospital because he can't be in the hospital anymore. It's just a minor heart attack, and it's just like an easy over the night thing. So he checks out of the hospital. And, you know, Shelby goes into mom mode. She's like, I'm going to change his diet. I'm going to make him eat all these things so that he can be better. Because she's like, I love this man. I don't want him to die yet. Like, I know I act like I can't stand him sometimes. Missing. We find LJ later on in the episode. He's at this group home where it's for... Cut out the part where he tells him what he is, like if he's non-binary. So she's like, I love this man. I want him to live for a long time. So she does that. LJ goes missing. We find LJ later on in the episode. He gets to the group home, and he, like, his son talks to him. He lets him know, like, I'm not gonna stick around if you feel like you can't deal with me being the way that I am. And he's like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't want to lose you. Like I lost my wife. It will take some time for me to get used to you being this way, but I'm okay with it. And I was like, this could have been avoided had he just told him that from the beginning. I'm sorry about being so burpy. I'm sorry. But anyway, so we have a time jump of 4 months later in episode 7. Actually, no, I'm wrong. We have a time jump of 4 months later in episode 8, the finale. Robin wants to divorce Harper. Now we get to the point. I'm going to go through what happened in episode 8. I thought I filmed this, but apparently I did not film it, as I find out while I'm editing the video. So basically what happens is there's a time jump in episode 8 where it's like 4 months later, and in this time jump we go through the course of Harper and Robin going through the divorce. There's a mediation scene where they're trying to figure out who is going to get full custody of Mia. Robin ends up getting full custody of Mia, and she wants to move to Ghana and take her with her because she feels like she wants to see a different side of the world where she's celebrated and loved, and Ghana and Africa is the place that she can see that, because Harlem has changed. Harlem isn't what she is used to anymore. It's been going through gentrification, and she's seeing a lot of people that don't look like her, and she wants to teach her daughter that there's more than one way to be looked at when it comes to being African American. So Harper doesn't like that she wants to move to Ghana, which makes sense, because why in the world would you take my daughter away from me when he has just come home and he's trying to get back into the work of things because you sent him away so that he can get his inspiration to finish the book that won him a Pulitzer in this episode. He actually wins a Pulitzer for the book that he was working on while he was in his moment. So we get to the point where, of course, she gets full custody, so she has the power to sell the house and to take Mia away from Harper. She says, like, Robin says that she's not taking Mia away, that Harper can come and visit Mia anytime he wants, which is understandable, I guess. But Mia, of course, doesn't understand because she's little and she doesn't want her daddy to leave, like her mom and her dad not to be together. She doesn't understand what's going on. She doesn't like what's going on at all. But it's the way it is. So we get to the point where he wins the Pulitzer, and we had this ending scene with Lance, and he lets the world know that he's okay with his son being non-binary. He accepts him for who he is. And it's a very beautiful moment in the book, in the movie, in the show. Now, there's something that I kind of forgot about. As I was editing, I saw it. So there was something with Candace and her professor. Now, Candace and her professor, there was a moment in the show where Candace and her professor are in, like, they're, like, in the back. Is it in his office? Yeah, it's in his office. And they're, like, editing her paper. And he kind of, like, feels up on her and touches her a little bit. And, it's not a good point for her. Like, she doesn't like it at all, and she kind of gets scared, and she's like, what are you doing? And I kind of saw it going that way because of the way he was the way he was acting. I was like, I hope it doesn't go that way. But when I saw it go that way, I was hoping that they kind of would expand on it a little bit. But it kind of seemed like it happened, and then they never talked about it again. Like, she told Murch what happened, and Murch got upset, but then after that, they kind of just glanced over it. I feel like if they do a season, if they actually go through with getting it picked up again, and the adults are involved, then I would like for them to expand on what would have happened, or see if maybe she brings it up later on in life and see if she can, like, get him in trouble and make sure that, she's heard, have a Me Too movement done correctly. And there's also a moment with Murch where he has, like, a Karen moment. There's this woman, she jumps into his cab. You can clearly see that the cab stopped for him and for Murch and his daughters, but the Karen was not hearing that, and she was causing a whole spectacle so she could be heard. Anyway, so we get to that point where Murch has this moment in the show where he kind of, like, I know I've gone into a tangent of, like, going back in time, but I wanted to kind of let you know that I didn't forget it, but I did forget it. So anyway, so Murch has this moment where he's going through the motions of what would have happened had he confronted the white woman and let her know what she did was wrong. And he has all these emotions, and he doesn't actually confront her, but he gets upset, and that's kind of brushed over as well. So I hope that if the limited series does get picked up again, that they kind of expand on the things that they kind of brushed over, or somehow bring it up again so that we can see it in a different light. But as I was saying, what I hope ends up happening if they do get it picked up again, they do the storyline with the children versus the adults, because I believe the adults will be super busy and it won't be possible to happen, and we'll be stuck waiting another couple of years waiting for them to do another storyline. But anyway, I don't believe it'll happen, but if it does, I hope that's the way it goes. Anyways, back to what I was saying with the original storyline of episode 8. Okay, so we get to the point where he's at the premiere and he's letting people know that he's okay. Where Lance is at the premiere and he's letting people know that he's okay. Like, him being non-binary doesn't affect anything that he does as a person, and he's also a good football player because of it. Like, he's very proud of it. So I was like, I thought that was a really good thing to see, like, to see him proud of his son and see him in that aspect. And so we get to the point where I remember I told you that he met somebody, in the previous video I said that he met somebody named Jasmine. She was a receptionist, and she comes up in this episode when she's, like, talking to someone, I believe, and she's at the Hilton Hotel, and she's just happens to be in California, and he sees her and he lets her know that I see you or whatever, and they go over to meet the kids. The kids are kind of happy to see their dad to see their dad in a different light and see him moving on to another person. That's like, his kids are really happy about that, and it's a good way to show like character development and everything. So we get to the point where Harper. We get to the point where Harper has won his Pulitzer, and the night of him winning the Pulitzer, not the night, but the day of him winning the Pulitzer, he had talked to his ex-wife now, and he's like, I want to speak to Mia, and she's like, Mia's on a play date, and Mia pops up. And it's so cute, and we see that, and that's how it literally ends. Like, Mia pops up, and then we have like a flash scene to we flash the camera towards Lance. We see that Lance has proposed to Jasmine, and they're like, everyone's in their own little corner, and then it ends right there. I'm very, very happy with the ending that we had. I'm very happy with the ending. If we do not get a season 2, I am okay with it. If we do get a season 2, I'm also okay with it. The reason why I'm saying that there might be a season 2 is because there was a lot of good press about the movie / TV show that premiered over the weekend. So there was a lot of good press about it. So I believe that there will be more to see from this franchise. And even if it isn't, they ended it very beautifully, and I hope that we see more from these creators and writers and directors. I can't wait to watch it all. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.